Impossible Room color demo number 1. So starting out the coloring process, after you've got your room completely drawn, it's been checked for accuracy, one of the first steps you want to do is go ahead with a ruler, use your base colors to outline and trace your details on the walls. And I like to do this at least one wall at a time, if not the entire sheet at a time, because it gives me the opportunity to look through the paper and look at the arrangement of color and making sure I'm keeping that balance, right? We want patterns to balance each other. We want lights and darks to balance each other so that no one side of the room sticks out from the rest. Now, for this specific demo, I've got 2 different types of floors here, and I'm going to tackle some of the common coloring and highlighting and shading techniques that I get asked about, and then you can use that information and apply it to your own individual room details. Okay, so once you have your outlines, and this is going to be very similar to if you did the Impossible Room drawing with me, we're going to put the base colors in. And the key is to not over color it. We want to leave some of the paper there. If we burnish too soon, our highlights and shadows won't stick later. So I'm going to go in, let's do this piece of furniture first, right? I've got my nice heavy outline with my base color. I'm going to go in, I'm smoothly coloring that in. But we're leaving some of that paper to show. Go ahead and add the color of the legs. And if you're applying light colors, yellows, oranges, warm colors, it's not a bad idea to maybe go in and erase that original pencil line a little bit, just so it doesn't foul your colors later on. All right, so now we're going to make this piece of furniture look a little more 3D by going and adding highlights and shadows. So I've got a light source right here in the back of the room. So anything that's facing that light source is going to have a nice warm yellow layer. So I'm going to add a little bit of that highlight along the front. And again, the contrast between the warms and the cools are going to enhance the optical illusion of those 3D forms. Now on the end of my couch, because the light source is coming from the back of the room, I'm going to go in and shade with indigo blue and Tuscan red. And you want to be sure and read the pencil, because Tuscan red and brown can look an awful lot alike. So be sure it says Tuscan red. So any place there's a cool shadow, I'm going to add both of those, and I can work back and forth. If it gets too blue, that Tuscan red will tone that back down, give it more of a purple appearance. And you have to remember too, the colorless blender is going to intensify those layers. So keep them subtle. It is always easier to add to and make something darker. We can't really lighten it back up once it's been burnished and ground into the paper fiber. All right. So I've got my base colors and my highlights and my shadows. So this is where you're going to take your colorless blender and you're going to let it do its magic and fill in the white fiber of the paper that we still see. Right? I'm not having to push really hard. It should smoothly blend that in. If you're having to push hard, or it's not filling it in without multiple passes, then you need more color on your paper. And remember too, you want to go the opposite direction that your pencil stroke was, and that takes less work as well. Be sure and blow off or brush off any of that excess. There's some dust there getting created. We don't want that to get smudged into other areas. So that is a nice contrast and value between that dark edge and the light edge. I could even go in and reinforce it a little bit here along the seat and along the top here, so that this front part looks more 3D. And then every time you add a new layer, again, lightly blend that in. Okay. The second 3D object I'm going to do is this cube right here. And I'm going to do it specifically in yellow just to talk about what to use and not use to get the shadow on the shaded side of the form. So I'm going to outline it using the ruler. Nice hard bold line. So anytime you have a yellow object that you're coloring in and highlighting and shading, you have to be careful not to inadvertently turn something yellow green. So the base color is the same all the way through, 50% coverage, smooth application. We don't want scribble. You can use the finger of your other hand kind of as a stop to keep from going outside the line. That helps speed up the process also. All right, so obviously a yellow side is already yellow. We don't really need to add anything to it to make it warmer or to show the highlight. The thing that's different about shading a yellow object is that you do not use blue. You will use purple or violet. And I usually start with the lighter of the two, and again, I can always go darker. So I'm going to start with this Dahlia purple here. And I'm going to lightly shade that edge in, that side facing us. And it should give us a nice neutral kind of gray or tan shadow there. If it gets too purple, you can go back in and tone it down with a little gray. You could even burnish it with a gray. A nice warm gray works really well. I'm going to go both directions to get rid of any pencil stroke. Okay, so again, anytime you are, be sure and clean your pencil lead before you move on to the next object. Anything you are shading something that is yellow, you only use purples, no blues.